on BBC Radio Scotland. It's time now to sit back and enjoy the action. It's Rangers against Dundee with Billy Dodds, Ian McCall and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks very much, Kenny. Welcome to the final Premiership game of the day at Ibrox Stadium as Dundee come to the south side of Glasgow in search of a first victory in 24 years. Rangers delivered the best performance and result under Russell Martin so far against Pilsen on Tuesday, and we'll look to build on that here this evening. Stephen Pressley, as the guys are suggesting, could do with a statement win to underline his credentials at Dundee and indeed get them off and running in the league for this campaign. The visitors are all in white tonight, with Rangers in their traditional home kit, blue tops, white shorts, black and red socks, as Don Robertson, the referee, makes his way into the centre circle with a match ball, and it looks like the visitors will get us underway going from left to right in this first period. And Rangers opening their league campaign with that ultimately disappointing draw at Fir Park. Dundee going down at home to Hibernian on Sunday, so both sides looking to get a first win under their belts in the league campaign. And we are underway then at Ibrox as the ball is rolled back to John McCracken in fluorescent yellow tonight. He launches it long. Giga tries to nod that back to Jack Butland. He wasn't 100% assertive with the header, and Butland had to dive on that quickly before Finn Robertson could latch on to it. But Giga has been more impressive, certainly in the last couple of games, than he was in the first couple against Panathinaikos, as he and John Souttar begin to build a relationship at the back in this new look Rangers side under Russell Martin. And here the two are combining at the back for Rangers, and it's Souttar, the captain for the day, with James Tavernier on the bench, and then forward by Jefty, who plays it to Gassama. Now it's back with Souttar, who plays it square once more to Giga, coming up to the halfway line looking for options. One of them is Diamondi. Back with Giga once more. Dundee effectively playing with five at the back at the moment, as Ian was suggesting. They'll look to hold their shape, especially in these early stages, and try and play their way into the game. But Rangers dominating the ball in the opening seconds. It's Souttar playing it square once more to Giga, and over to Aarons, who keeps his place at right back ahead of James Tavernier. Russell Martin making a point that these players deserve to go again after what was a really good performance against Pilsen. They've lost possession, they're trying to win it back quickly up the field, but Dundee sweep it out to this near side, the Dundee right. Jefty and Dre Wright contest the ball in the air. It breaks the way of Wright, just tries to slip it through there. Rangers had it back momentarily, but it's back with Ashley, who goes back to McCracken, who then sweeps it out to the left hand side for Luke Graham, playing it left centre back here in the three. And now it's picked up by Paul Digby, one of the new signings for Dundee. Back again with McCracken inside his 6-yard box, just launches it up towards the halfway line. We played a couple of minutes, and Dundee able to move up the field, and it's Robertson. Looks to play out to the left-hand side for Samuels. Back with Robertson up towards the edge of the Rangers box now. Samuels for Robertson once more at the byline. Tries to play it off. Now the Rangers player Diamondi there, but it doesn't quite work out that way, and Giga is able to bring the ball clear, looking for options ahead of him. Inside him is Rothwell, played out to the left-hand side for Jefty. Dundee look to have relaxed into the game pretty reasonably so far, as Cameron, their former starlet, plays it back to Jefty, and now it's Souttar for Rothwell. Rothwell just inside the Dundee half for Jefty, the Brazilian. Souttar quickly closed down, turns it back the way under a bit of pressure there from Ashley Hates. A new look front line for Dundee, as Simon Murray continues his recovery from the injury he picked up against Montrose. 3 minutes in, no goals here. Let's get the early thoughts first of all from Ian McCall alongside me here.
Yeah, I mean, Dundee's playing in a back five. There's not a lot of space at all. You know, 4 with 1 up, out of possession. Rangers got a lot of the ball, but there's not a lot. Dodgy was saying before, Desser's really good, and he is spinning into beyond. There's not a lot of space for that. But you know what? I think they just want to keep the ball, keep moving it from side to side, and you know, see if they get some joy. Dundee's shape's really decent just now.
Here's Giga. Everyone behind the ball at the moment for Dundee inside their own half. Robertson and Wesley kind of playing either side of Ashley Hay in an attacking 3 when they do come forwards, as Rangers trying to make progress down the left-hand side. Little nutmeg from Gassama. Dre Wright tries to make the challenge, comes back to Aarons, 25 from goal, out to Antman, forced back the way by Samuels, and it's Giga square for Suter. Everyone well advanced for Rangers right now as Jefty gets it on the left-hand side and goes back to Suter, who's midway inside the Dundee half. Dundee camped inside their own territory right now as Aarons plays it out to Antman right-hand side. Looks to get away from Samuels, who does well, and then he's clipped by the Finn, and it will be a free kick the way of Dundee, and that allows us to bring in Billy Dodds for his early musings.
Pretty much as Ian was saying, as we thought. Dundee having to sit deep, Rangers forcing them back, getting plenty of possession, some nice little bursts from Gassama trying to get in behind that defence, and Dundee looking pretty shaped up pretty well, you have to say. Like the way their back five are getting together, you've just got to watch Dre Wright doesn't go too narrow. There's times when you think, oh, he could put in Gassama there, but Dundee will be pretty happy with their start.
Clash of heads there between Ashley Hay and Nasser Giga, and Don Robertson has brought the game to halt for now, and I think both players are likely to need a bit of treatment as they came together there nastily in a completely accidental collision. Both actually been helped to their feet and maybe won't need the medical teams on, but it wasn't a pleasant looking clash. Rangers really need to up the ante at home if they are to mount a serious challenge to Celtic in the league. Last season was their worst return at home since season 2017-18. Just 44 at home points wise, dropping points in 5 home games, which ultimately isn't good enough if you're looking to try and wrestle the title away from Celtic. 0-0 there in the early stages. 6 minutes played. Dundee have a throw-in on the near side, midway inside the Rangers half. Dre Wright, another summer signing, about to take this. Looking for an option. Ashley Hay and indeed Wesley coming off for themselves. It is into the feet of Hayes, challenged and not fouled according to the referee, as Gassama then just knocks it out of play, and it'll be another throw-in to Dundee. A little bit deeper this time, actually. No, Ashley's going to throw it further forward to Dre Wright once more. He does have a long throw on him, but at this stage it doesn't look like he's going to try and use that. And Wesley comes and looks for it. Cameron gets in there ahead of him. Then Rothwell tries to help it on, but Dundee have it back through Robertson, and out from Digby to Samuels. Samuels comes inside of Antman. Digby's there once more, and then Graham joins in, tries to squeeze it through for Samuels, but it's picked up by Aarons, and Rangers will try and counter here through Antman. He's quickly closed down in the midfield. It's out for a throw-in over on the far side. 7 minutes in, it's Rangers 0, Dundee 0.
I think that's when Rangers have got to take advantage. When, you know, I know we hate this word transition though, when Dundee lose the ball, when they're all up the pitch, that's when you can get, I think that's when Rangers can get at them. That's when there is space.
They've got to do it quickly though, even haven't they? As soon as they stall and make another pass, and the chance is gone.
Giga has it at the back for Rangers, plays it out to the left-hand side for Jefty. Suter now, 10 yards inside his own half, plays it into Dessers. Loose pass as he tried to link with Diamondi. Diamondi doing well to win it back, but can only poke it out to this right-hand side for Callum Jones. Challenged by former Dundee man Cameron unfairly, and the free kick goes Dundee's way. And Stephen Presley be pretty satisfied by the way his side have dealt with this opening 8 minutes, no goals, and they've been into Rangers territory on a few occasions, including this one when they got a free kick just a yard in from the right touchline to be taken by Dre Wright. Dundee thinking about throwing the centre-backs forward, and then deciding against it. Ray Wright tried to clip it in behind. Cameron read it, and it's played infield by Gassama, and then Antman for Dessers, and now Suter just outside his own penalty area. Rothwell picking up for Rangers, that midfield linchpin, the deeper of the three Rangers centre midfielders. And now it's Max Aarons on loan from Bournemouth. Plays it forward, looking for the ball in behind for Antman, but he's overcooked that pass, and it's all the way through to John McCracken. Surprised at all that McCracken's been given the nod at the start of the season ahead of the more experienced Trevor Carson, Dodsey?
It was mix and match last season, wasn't it? So not really surprised. You'll probably find that Trevor Carson will come back in certain games, but John McCracken has the jersey just now. I was just going to touch on, Ian's talked about Cyril Dessers, quite rightly so, plenty of feet and no space, but it's a different test for the wide man today, especially Gassama and Antman, where they'd space to run into there, and Pilsen played pretty open and it left the space. Now they're going to have to have sharp burst, and it's going to have to be done, and it's going to have to be precise, because it's a different test. No space to work in.
Yeah, Dundee with the packed defence as Cameron nudges it back to Suter, plays it out to the left hand side for Jefty. Closed down quickly by Wesley, back with Suter once more, midway inside Dundee's half. Almost 10 minutes on the clock, no goals at Ibrox as yet. No goals between St Mirren and Motherwell earlier, and a 3-1 victory for Livingston in the battle of the promoted sides against Falkirk, who they had the better of in the head-to-heads, albeit they finished behind them in the league. But Livingston with the first win of the season. There's Jefty just over Dessers with a cross. Graham got something on it. Samuels will pick up and clear only as far as Aarons though, but 25 from goal. Plays it to Antman, into the feet there of Diamondi. Tries to bring the ball under control. He's kind of half dragged to the ground. Don Robertson didn't see anything wrong with the challenge, but Rangers still have it anyway, as Jefty plays it out to the left hand side for Gassama. Gassama got a couple of goals in midweek, can't find a way through, and he's fouled Dre right there. The referee awarding that one in Dundee's favour, just in the edge of their own penalty area. 10.5 played, Rangers 0, Dundee 0.
Yeah, listen, Lyle Cameron's made a couple of good runs earlier in the game, beyond, but he goes in behind and just he takes away the Gassama's space that he was wanting to go and exploit and try and beat somebody and deliver a ball to the box.
Free kick to be taken by McCracken then. Plays it long forward, looking for the head of Ashley Hay. Rangers get it clear, and Diamondi will cross the halfway line here. Gassama trying to take over, but he just overruns it, and Wright picks up, and then Digby plays it on for Samuels, left hand side. Good ball forward for Robertson. Across goes Giga to halt his progress. Goes back the way once more to the Englishman Digby, brought in from Cambridge over the summer, where he played almost 230 times. So plenty of experience. Stephen Presley very animated down in his technical area. As Suter picks up for Rangers. 11.5 played, no goals, and no threat on either goal, to be honest, so far. As Rangers try and build from the back once more, and it's Giga crossing the halfway line. Dundee again dropping everyone behind the ball as Rothwell just rolls it to his left for Jefty. Jefty just back the way to Suter. Here he is again, the Brazilian left back, into Cameron. Suter once more. Rangers trying to entice Dundee out. They're not biting at this stage. Giga for Aarons. Antman makes the move ahead of him. Aarons thinks better of the pass forward and goes back to Giga, who plays it into Diamondi. Rangers not able to find the penetrating passes as yet. 12 minutes in. Cameron picks up left hand side. A bit of space for him to move into. Gassama's just ahead of him. Again, there's like 4 Dundee players around about him. Cameron just runs that out of play, and you've got to commend Dundee so far, Billy, in their organisation, but clearly a long way to go yet.
Of course, I mean, the line is really good about how deep they are and leaving that no space. And Rangers, they've set out their format. I mean, once they get a certain length up the pitch, you can see Russell Martin tell these 2 centre halves, you step inside Dundee half. That's the way they want to play. They want to play with all the players in there, try to create something. You've just got to watch when teams sit so deep that you don't clog it. And for the first, 13 minutes or so, it has looked a bit clogged at times, where you're getting in one another's way, and they're finding it hard to get through this Dundee defence, Rangers.
Here's Jeffrey, left hand side, short ball for Cameron, back the way to Suter, and back in field to Roddle for Diamondi, quickly closed down, and it's cleared by Graham up towards Hay. He goes back the way towards his own goal there, and Rangers pick up possession once more, and it's Giga inside the centre circle, and now out to Aaron's right hand side. Giga once more will play it square for Suter. Suter advances. Every Rangers player pretty much in Dundee's defensive third as Gassama looks for options from the left hand side. It's Rothwell advancing, pokes it into the penalty area but aimlessly, and Dre Wright will just clip it forward, but likewise that's aimless and just gets it over the halfway line. And Stephen Presley urging his Dundee side to just move up 10-15 yards. They don't want to be lying too deep, but Rangers looking to come again as Suter plays it into Rothwell, back to Giga, but 10 yards inside his own half. 14 played. You listen to Sports Sound here on BBC Radio Scotland as Giga looks to roll it into Antman. It doesn't quite find him. Diamondi almost picked up, but Dundee have it back. Aarons makes the challenge. Diamondi looking to put pressure on as well, and to Luke Graham, who does well to turn away from him and can clear his lines, but only as far as Max Aarons. Back with Giga on the halfway line. Rangers dominating the early possession, as you would expect in a home game. It's quite a phenomenal record actually Rangers have. Unbeaten in 17 against Dundee. They've won the last 19 at Ibrox against today's opponents, going back to 2001. As Giga plays it into Rothwell. It's a cute ball for Diamondi, just opens up for him. Dessers with a back heel straight into the path of John McCracken. He was looking for Cameron. He might well have got the shot away himself earlier on, but 15 played and it's still Rangers 0, Dundee 0.
Even with half a chance here, it was still very, very tight. There wasn't a lot of space at all, and you know, I think Dessers obviously tried to play the 1-2 there with the wee back heel. He might have been better having a strike. You know, there wasn't a lot of space though.
Here's Cameron out to Jefty as Rangers advance once more. Back comes Joe Westley to cover him. Jefty plays it into Rothwell, who advances a few yards midway inside the Dundee half now. Short ball, and he gets it back from Diamondi, then plays it square to Jefty. He's closed down by Westley. Oh, it's a lovely ball for Gassama. Gassama plays it square. Dessers with his back to goal. Oh, that was a shooting opportunity surely for Gassama. Almost an identical position from which he opened the scoring against Victoria Pilsen on Tuesday night. This time he elected to square it, and can't help but feeling Billy Dodds. He should have gone for goal. 0-0.
Yeah, with the goals he scored this season already, you think he's just going to shape it for that far corner. That's the run I'm talking about. He's got to be patient. Dre Wright just switches off. He runs in behind him. It's a 10-yard burst, sets him in, and he chooses to cut it back. Dessers maybe could have hit it first time, but good movement from Gassama. Thought he would have curled it for the far corner though.
Here he is again, left hand side, lays it back into the path of Cameron, the angle of the box on the left hand side, back to Suter, 30 yards from goal, plays it square to Giga. Everyone in and around that Dundee penalty area right now as Antman picks up right hand side and then plays it back to Giga once more. Gets it once again from Suter into Diamondi. Nice pass in between him and Rothwell. Diamondi, Rangers beginning to click into gear now as Aarons checks back onto the left foot. Poor cross, headed away only as far as Giga. He's got Suter square of him once again. Jefty to his left if he wants him. Instead it's to Cameron. Cameron about 30 yards from goal. Into the channel for Dessers inside the penalty area. Gassama moves into the box, but Dessers comes back to Jefty. Rangers looking for that opening. Almost came a couple of minutes ago through Gassama, but he elected to square it for Dessers instead of shooting. When the chance looked on, Jefty lifts it to the back post looking for Antman. Samuels gets his head to it first, comes out to the right hand side. Antman will keep it in and plays it back to Aarons. Aarons on the angle of the right hand side, rolls it to Rothwell. Rothwell for Jefty and then Suter. Quick passing now from Rangers as Cameron shuffles it out to Gassama and then back with Suter once more. 25 from goal, curls it in. Dessers tries to bring it under control and it's knocked away there by Digby, but Rangers have it back only momentarily though, and Samuels will pick up just at the edge of his own penalty area. Diamondi's dispossessed him on the right of the box. Rangers have bodies in the penalty area. Dessers lets it go. Cameron back for Rothwell, who goes for goal and drags it wide. Faint claim for a penalty as Dessers hit the the deck as he left it for Cameron. It will be checked by the VAR, but Rangers with the opportunity there for Rothwell. It was dragged wide 18 minutes in, and as things stand, it's Rangers 0, Dundee 0.
I think they'll have a look at it.
I think there's half a chance there.
Yeah, but the one thing I would say, it looked, first impressions, as if Cyril Dessers stepped into it to try and get it and get his leg in the way. But they're having a look. I'm not surprised. I'd be claiming for it, Ian.
Of that, I have no doubt. They're just
No
bringing
penalty.
into gear, Rangers.
It's not going to be given.
No given. Just with the first little ball in behind, I think it was by Jeffrey. I think Rangers have started to pick up all the passing. It just needs to be done reasonably quick, and they're starting to do that now, moving Dundee around a wee bit more.
There's a little bit of an issue between the communication between VAR and the referee, been coming and going as Rangers get the ball back to Jack Butland. He's quickly closed down. Giga's under pressure here, but he does manage to squeeze it out to the left-hand side for Jefty. VAR is working at the moment, but they have just been having a few communication issues as Rangers bring it forward once more. A couple of chances now have come Rangers' way. Suter tries to squeeze that through for Gassama. I think he fouled the Dundee player there. Cameron back into the box, half clear. Antman back for Diamondi, who volleys clear. Well, Gassama's claiming that he was fouled in the edge of the box. I actually thought he fouled the Dundee player. The play was allowed to continue anyway, and it ends up over the crossbar from Diamondi. Almost 20 played, and it's still 0-0.
I totally agree with you, Al. I think it was, if anything, it was a foul for Dundee.
Dre Wright also touched the ball as well, I feel. So, yeah, it's a good run though. That's the runs they're going to have to do. The wide men are going to have to be patient and just wait for that short burst that somebody can get a bit of time on the ball just to release a little through pass. Dundee, yeah, they've defended pretty well, but they can't keep the ball, and that's a problem. If they're going to try and pass, not from the back, but if they win possession, just make a couple of passes. They don't have to go anywhere, just show that we're capable of keeping it for a little period of time.
Rangers have it. Russell Martin waving players forward again. Just about everyone has been inside the Dundee half for the majority of the opening 20 minutes, as Antman has it on the right hand side, just touches it to Aarons. Now it's back to Diamondi, and now Giga about 25 yards inside the Dundee half. He gets it back again from Suter and then plays it forward for Diamondi. He can't find a teammate though. Graham goes back to McCracken, who has to lash it out of play.
That's what I'm talking about.
Under a bit of pressure.
You've got to show that you've got a bit of composure where you're capable of keeping it, where you're just giving Rangers it back. I'm watching down this Rangers left, Dundee's right. Dre Wright's got to be careful, because he turns, he closes his body, and Gassama's got his number and he just takes off at times.
He's a creative player, isn't he? He's used to playing further forward earlier on in his career.
Here's Suter for Jefty, left-hand side, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Tries to get it across goal. It comes off the back-tracking Wesley, behind for a Rangers corner on the left-hand side. 21 and a half played. Still goalless. Rangers dominating, but unable to really test John McCracken so far. Shady Gassama with the best chance of the game so far, but electing to square the ball when he might have been better shooting, as Rothwell comes across to this left-hand side to take the corner kick. Plenty inside the penalty area for him to aim at. Lyle Cameron offering himself a little bit shorter. Diamondi lurking at the edge as Rothwell prepares to send this into the box. Well, Don Robertson is looking for a word with a couple of the players before that's allowed to happen.
Got 6 zonal, and then they've only got 3 to try and mark Rangers 4 runners, and they're trying to grapple with them and stop them getting that initial run.
It's the 3 smaller ones. They've got the best headers of the ball, marking zonally along the 6-yard box. They're trying to get so tight, they're obviously pulling, etc, etc.
Wesley and Suter are the players being spoken to by Don Robertson, the referee, just warning them that once the ball comes in, if there's any pulling, it's liable to be penalised, as Rothwell now can send this in. Rangers looking to hit the front at the midway point in the first half here at Ibrox. Rothwell it is, right-footed, into the edge of the 6-yard box. It was off the head of Ashley, half clear. Diamondi returns it, it's repelled once more. Cameron picks up, tries to stand it to the back post. Dessers was there, but it's Amari Samuels who gets his head to it to take it behind for a corner on the far side this time. 0-0.
Yeah, good defending again from Dundee, but it was good movement from Dessers, and sign of a good player. Cameron, he saw him really quickly. A lot of people can see the pass, but it's how quickly you can see the pass
and execute it.
Yeah,
which he almost picked Dessers out, but Samuels intervened as Diamondi now will go across to the right hand side to swing this one in, left-footed, an in-swinger from Diamondi. Rangers still looking for the opening goal. He goes to the edge of the box, actually he's overhit that. Roswell will chase it and can't keep it in, and it's a waste from Diamondi there. You could see what he was intending, but just overhit the corner. And so we've played 23.5 minutes, and Stephen Presley and Dundee will be the more satisfied of the two sides as the scoreline remains 0-0.
I mean, I'm not. Do you think he was intending to hit Rothwell for a volley?
Yeah, but I'm surprised.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's overhit it by about 30 yards.
Yeah, you could have picked him out, Collie. But what I'm saying with that corner, never seen Mo Diamondi take a corner. It's usually Rothwell, and Mo Diamondi can strike them with his left foot, so it was set up to go the other way where Rothwell could have pinged it. I'm surprised that first Mo Diamondi took the corner and Rothwell was at the edge of the box.
Jack Butland has it as Rangers again look to play out from the back. They've given their supporters a few heart and mouth moments this season already, and Butland's quickly closed down there by Hay, and it's going to come out for a throw-in, but it's good pressing, and teams will know that Rangers are going to do that almost regardless. I've seen them go longer a few times, but more often than not they're going to try and play out, and I guess it's something especially early in the season where they're still trying to get to grips with it, that teams can try and punish them.
It is the other side of that coin, Al, is if you overcommit, you know, as opposition players to try and win the ball high and they play through the press, you're in serious bother.
Sure.
It's still tempting though to have a little bite at it.
Jefty switches play deep in his own territory to Aarons. He'll play it to Cameron, but he was on his heels, and Dre Wright nicks it from him. So Dundee have it back, but Ashley has to go all the way back to his goalkeeper McCracken, who tries to sweep it out to the left-hand side to Luke Graham. Dundee have done well, and it's Samuels bringing it forward, and now Robertson. Samuels continues his run into the edge of the penalty area, looking for Hay, but Suter's there first and plays it to Rothwell. Still no goals at Ibrox as Rangers come forward looking to change that. Out to Antman, who's been denied a lot of the ball so far, but infield he comes, tries to play it to Gassama, who tries to whip it into the top corner, but he gets it all wrong, and so with almost 26 played, it's still Rangers 0, Dundee 0.
I mean, I think he should have whipped the first one in. That was an easy chance. Maybe that one he lays off to Lyle Cameron. You saw who was trying, just didn't go over it. But you know, with it, bizarre enough, with the way the wind is, it's actually a comfortable finish to curl it in that far corner if you've got a decent right foot, which he obviously has.
Ball's played forward into the Rangers half, but Butland comes out of his area and collects it. Dundee 3 defeats from 5 to start the season, including Airdrie and Alloa in the League Cup, and of course Hibernian last weekend. Their only victories came over Bonnyrigg Rose and Montrose in the League Cup, in which they did not progress, which didn't help Stephen Presley's early cause. But he has every faith in his own ability, and he'll be looking to show why. It's a difficult task coming here to Ibrox and taking anything, as plenty of Dundee teams have found in recent times, but they've acquitted themselves fairly well, certainly defensively in these opening stages. 27 minutes in, and it's still stalemate as Suter picks up for Rangers. Midway inside the Dundee half, into the feet of Dessers, who goes back the way to Rothwell, out to the right hand side for Antman. Samuels goes out to meet him, just back the way to Aarons, and then back further to Giga, who plays it again out to the right hand side for Diamondi. Antman once more, about 5 yards from the byline. Can he get the cross in here? Just tries to find a half a yard, sends it in, but McCracken able to take that at his near post. And Rangers still struggling to really test the Dundee keeper, who launches it long over the halfway line. Giga hasn't really dealt with that one. Suter does, and he's fouled by Hay, but the referee allows play to continue with Roswell in possession. And now Diamonde out to Cameron on this left-hand side, crossing the halfway line. Looks for Gassama to make the run, which he does, but Cameron didn't feel he could execute the pass on that occasion to find him, and so he comes back in field to Roswell, and now Giga, who's joined in with the forwards, and it's Aarons out to the right-hand side for Antman. Giga once more midway inside the Dundee half. 28 played, Suter for Roswell, and now Giga once more. Everyone behind the ball for Dundee, but that's well cut out there by Callum Jones for Dundee. Goes back to Samuels, and now Graham at the edge of his penalty. It just takes a little chance against Antman, but does well, the young centre-back. Out to the right-hand side now for Dre Wright. Back for Astley, and now to McCracken inside his 6-yard box. That's a good spot and a good pass out from the goalkeeper to Samuels, and he's able to cross the halfway line, and Rangers will have to get back behind the ball now as it goes out to the left-hand side for Robertson. Robertson tries to get it into the box. It comes off the back of Aarons, and Dundee have a corner themselves. 29 minutes almost played, and it's still Rangers 0, Dundee 0.
It's just what we're talking about there, where they've got to show composure to keep the ball, and they did on occasion, and it went back to McCracken, and he certainly showed it when he switched it away out to that left-hand side. Much better.
Yeah, great composure from young Luke Graham, who I think's got a real chance.
Before that, yeah.
Yeah, coming out with the ball and passed it 2 or 3 times. Good player.
Yeah, he did really well first half of last season at Falkirk. Didn't play so much when he went back on loan second half, but certainly would go along with what Ian says as the ball comes in from the left-hand side. He breaks to Finn Robertson, who goes for goal, and it's charged down. Rangers under significant pressure there. It might come back into the box here. It will indeed. The header comes in off the post. Butland grabs it. So unlucky. I think it was Clark Robertson rising at the back post, and Rangers survive by the skin of their teeth on the half-hour mark. Denied by the upright there, the Dundee captain, and it's still Rangers 0, Dundee 0.
It was a Robertson double, wasn't it, Finn, with the first strike, charged down, then when the ball comes back in, you were right out, Clark Robertson, towering header, and Butland is just watching it going right across him, and then crashes off his left-hand post. Big let-off for Rangers, really good from Dundee.
Well, Rangers almost made to pay for their failure to find a goal in the opening half hour, as first Finn and then Clark Robertson denied pretty decent chances, probably better chances other than the Gassama one than Rangers have managed to carve out themselves. And certainly Clark Robertson coming closer to scoring than anyone has thus far. Dundee hack it clear through Luke Graham up towards the halfway line. Shooter with just a little nudge on Hay, able to get the header down for Roswell, who picks up. But again, it's that age-old problem for Rangers of breaking down stubborn and packed defences, and then being vulnerable when that same team goes up the park and threatens themselves. But still goalless with just over half an hour played at Ibrox, as Shefty plays it short to Gassama. Rangers need a bit more inspiration, a little bit more guile to find a way through, as Dessers at the edge of the box tries to poke it through. Cameron almost in there, just dispossessed. The offside flag is up against Cameron in any case, and it will be a free kick to Dundee inside their own penalty area. We've played 31 minutes. It's Rangers 0, Dundee 0.
And the thing is, as the game progresses, Al, you sometimes have, it sounds ridiculous, you have too much of the ball, and I know if that's the way Russell Martin wants to play, but if they don't get a breakthrough, you've just shown the two Robertsons, the header, from all intents but from here, it looked in. You know, so you really need to, Rangers really need to get that first goal. And to be honest, Dundee have defended really well. They've been deep. They've only had one chance, Rangers, one good chance.
Giga just manages to nod that back to Butland before Finn Robertson can capitalise. Finn Robertson, I guess, with the departures of the likes of Cameron, Mulligan, and before them Luke McCowan, Finn Robertson's that young youth product at Dundee. He's taking on the mantle in the midfield as Cameron just knocks that out of play disappointingly, and Rangers just beginning to huff and puff a little bit. 13 minutes to the break, 0-0.
The only problem Dundee's had, Ian, I don't know if you've noticed, was when Ashley pulls Dre Wright in to get Cameron, and that's when Gassama can do his bust or get on it a bit easier. Ashley's got to take in the main Lyle Cameron when he comes forward, and that lets Dre Wright handle his man, but that's been the only problem so far.
Here comes Ashley Hay for Dundee as he plays it into the box. Aaron's making a mess of that, and eventually getting it behind for a corner. I thought he might have been offside, but the flag stayed down, and the corner is given out on the far side, and Dundee, having had to absorb a lot of pressure in the opening half an hour, are beginning to just get a little bit of confidence, no doubt, from that previous 40 forwards when Finn Robertson had the shot blocked, and then Clark Robertson headed off the post, and they've got another corner here to try and take the lead themselves at Ibrox left hand side as they come forward.
He struggles defensively, Aaron's, at times, doesn't he?
I cannot believe he tried to backheel it away there.
And it comes into the edge of the 6-yard box. It breaks the way of Finn Robertson once more. Again, he's blocked, this time by Gassama, but the Rangers fans getting a little bit restless. Helped back into the box. There's a big chance it's off the post again. Butland saves from Clark Robertson. Twice Robertson has hit the post. Offside flag is up, and Rangers breathe again, but my goodness, they are living dangerously at the back here at Ibrox. 0-0.
He did look offside, you know, obviously, but that's 2 or 3 occasions now. But the back heel by Max Aarons in his own box, he had no idea what was behind him. And he was actually lucky he didn't get the pull off the back heel and the ball went out for a corner. He could have back-heeled it to a Dundee player.
Some save from Butland.
Incredible, actually,
he's got
yeah.
a touch in that. I mean, but he's alarmingly, for Rangers, he's left alone, even though he's offside to head it. But what a save and what a touch onto the post from Butland.
So Rangers beginning to struggle slightly here under the weight of expectation as much as anything else. Really haven't been able to create, and that impressive performance against Pilsen will quickly be forgotten if they fail to break down this Dundee defence. 0-0 it stands with just over 10 minutes to play in the first period. It's Giga for Suter for Cameron. Cameron left hand side, leaves it to Gassama, who's found Cameron once more, gets to the byline. Can he squeeze it into the box? He can, but Clark Robertson's first to it to knock it back out of the penalty area. Gassama manages to shield it and allows Jefty to pick up, and it's back with Suter. Suter plays it square to Giga inside the centre circle, out to the right hand side. Samuels is in before him, but Antman gets it to Aarons, and now Suter once more on the halfway line, just stepping forward. Stephen Presley will be desperately keen for his side to get to half-time no worse than 0-0. They could have been in front. They've certainly come closer to scoring than their hosts. Here's Giga, midway inside the Dundee half. Again, Dundee well organised, looking difficult to break down. Giga again picks up possession. Dundee look pretty happy to allow him to have possession as he plays it back to Suter, and then he gets it to Diamondi, right hand side. He gets it back from Aarons, then leaves it to Antman, hugging the touchline right hand side. Back with Giga. Can Rangers find the creativity, the spark they need to break down this Dundee back line, which pretty much consists of all 11 players right now. Suter, midway inside the Dundee half, out to Jefty, about 10 yards in off the touchline, just looks a little bit clumsy as he tries to get past Wesley there, fails to do so. And Dundee have possession back. Ashley gets out to Dre right here, right hand side, closed down by Cameron, goes back the way and will be clipped forward, but Wesley will pick up possession under pressure from Jefty, who claims for handball. Nothing given, still in play, and it comes off Dre right last. It'll be a Rangers throw-in just in front of Stephen Presley. Got about 8 minutes left in this first period, no goals. And Giga plays it into Diamondi once more. Rangers come forward. It's Dessers looking to back into Robertson. He was being tugged there, and the referee spotted that. And it'll be a free kick to Rangers, maybe just about 20 yards from goal, maybe a little bit more. It was the initial contact, but it's a good position. This it's very much James Tavernier territory, but James Tavernier still on the Rangers bench, so there'll be another taker required. 37 on the clock, and maybe Rangers' best opportunity so far to break the deadlock.
Yeah, I thought he was fortunate as well. I know there's a small tug of his jersey, but I mean, I think it was Robertson, but I think he's getting a wee bit too tight because, you know, if it's centre forward of that size, will then be able to roll you, you know, but I'm not sure there was much in that free kick.
I think Cyril Dessers had a little grip with his jersey as well, a bit of give and take.
It looks like Joe Rothwell fancies this one. Well, we're talking probably about 25 yards from goal. The ball is lined up very slightly left to centre as Dundee, 5, almost 6 men, plus the player lying down behind it as they look to keep Rangers out. Joe Rothwell looking for a first Rangers goal. Here he is, right-footed, curls it, takes a deflection and takes it wide of goal for a Rangers corner. Looked like it might have been on target had it not taken that deflection off the top of the wall. As it is, Rothwell will come across to this near side and try once more. 6.5 to the break, Rangers 0, Dundee 0. Rothwell lines up this corner kick from the left-hand side. Stephen Presley hurling around his technical area below us. Happy so far, you'd imagine, but very keen to keep this one out. It's headed away to the back post. Dessers doesn't really catch it, comes back into the 6-yard box though. His effort on the volley from the back post. Rothwell with a loose pass, but Aarons will get there first. Right hand side, checks back infield and goes back to Cameron. You can certainly hear the grumbles and groans round about us as the Rangers fans are looking for better than this from their side. Still 0-0 against Dundee. Rothwell takes over once more in the midfield and plays it square to Jefty. Can't imagine that Russell Martin will be overly delighted about the way things are going thus far. Gassama, left-hand side, coming in off that left flank, but a terrible pass cut out easily by Robertson. It was straight at him in truth, and he gets it back to Graham. Graham clips it forward for Robertson once more. He's taken down by Rothwell. Dundee get the free kick about 15 yards inside their own half left-hand side, and it's still Rangers 0, Dundee 0.
Yeah, listen, you know, Dundee are getting more and more comfortable. I mean, they are deepening, like, to a hell of an extent. At times there's 11 players just in front of us, there are 10 outfield players just in front of us, but Rangers are really struggling to keep them out. Their best option, I think, is Gassama down this side, getting in behind Ray Wright, but even then, that's kind of dried up. They're not moving the ball quick enough, I don't think.
It can change at any point, as we know, and Rangers could score, but their game plan so far has gone to a T, Dundee, so they'll be really happy. They've had the best opportunities and they've been pretty solid. Rangers have to work on it and try to do a bit more to break them down.
We sure do. 5 minutes until the interval as Rothwell picks up just 20 yards inside the Dundee half. Rangers get lucky as Dessers picks up possession. Left hand side it's Gassama. Left hand side of the penalty area, a little step over, gets to the byline, comes off Dre Wright, another Rangers corner.
They must be told to do that. That's about 5 times. Young Lyle Cameron's ran into the winger's space when you're going to go and beat a man. They must be told to do that though, because you know he wouldn't do it all the time. And then Gassama gets a run at him and beats him.
Rothwell comes across again to this left-hand side to try and send the corner in and provide the first Rangers goal with 4 minutes left in the first half, plus any added on time. Rothwell it is, right-footed to the near post this time. Dessers gets something on it but can't take it towards goal. I think Rothwell thinks he was offside. Antman goes to try and win possession. Rothwell eventually keeps it in play. It comes back to Diamonde, helps it into the area, cleared as far as Jefty. He goes for goal. That's a yard or so wide of the far post. As Antman claimed for a penalty there as he went to pick up possession. Don Robertson had a good view of it. Again, it will be checked. I think it was just inside the area, but referee saw nothing wrong with the challenge, and it's still Rangers 0, Dundee 0.
Yeah, it was clumsy from Dundee, but he couldn't do anything about it. He didn't see him, and Antman didn't see him lying on the ground, and kind of fell over him, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't think that's ever a fair enough for me anyway.
Yeah, and that is backed up by the fact that the goal kick is taken with no further intervention, and Dundee can come forward as the sun comes out at Ibrox after a shower early in the game. No goals as yet to speak of, with 3 minutes left plus stoppage time in this first half in the final game of the day in the Scottish top flight. A win earlier for Livingston. We'll see the highlights of that, and indeed the draw between St Mirren and Motherwell. And of course this one on Sports Scene's 50th anniversary show later this evening. Rangers come forward down the right hand side. It's Aarons. Cross comes off from Mari Samuels. It'll be a throw into Rangers about 10 yards from the corner flag right hand side. Taken back the way, although Don Robertson's having a word with Ryan Ashley over something before he wanted the throw in taken, so it's retaken and it's back to Giga, and now at the edge of the centre circle it's Suter. A couple of minutes for either side to try and find a breakthrough before the interval. Goalless as it stands, as Giga has it midway inside Dundee territory, looks to try and find Mohamed Diamondi. He couldn't pick up, but he's won it there from Graham, and now it's Antman right hand side. Slips it back for Diamondi. He plays it off Robertson for a Rangers throw in inside the last couple of minutes at Ibrox of this first half. 0-0 it stands. Max Aarons looking for options from the throw in over on the far side, and it goes to Antman. Back to Aarons. Doesn't look overly comfortable again, even though he's playing in his more favoured position of right back. The James Tavernier again on the bench, picked up in the midfield by Digby, slips it forwards. He can't keep a hold of it though, and picked up by Suter. Can Rangers find the breakthrough before the interval? Gassama was just going the opposite way from which Jeffrey played the pass, and he couldn't stretch to keep a hold of it, and it's out for a throw into Dundee deep in their own territory. It looks like there's going to be a minute added on. We've got a minute left of the 45, so 2 all told, as it remains Rangers 0, Dundee 0, and Dundee with a throw in about 20 yards from their own corner flag right hand side as they come forward. Russell Martin at the edge of his technical area will I guess use the opportunity at half time to try and spark something from his side, because they haven't been nearly as good as they were against Victoria Pilsen, who certainly offered Rangers a lot more space, as Billy was suggesting early on, than Dundee have offered them in this first half. Much better organised at the back, the inside, as Giga plays out to the right hand side for Aarons. He pokes it back to Giga just inside his own half. Square for Suter into Cameron, and he goes back the way into the centre circle before just leaving it for Giga, who quickly plays it to Suter. Into the 1 minute added on right now. Dundee clear their lines up just over the halfway line. Giga turns and picks up possession once more. Into Suter again. Gassama looks to make the run, but Suter plays it short for Rothwell instead. Now it's Giga. Uninspired stuff, you would have to say, in this first half from Rangers, as Rothwell has it. Plays it straight through the middle for Dessers. So a challenge came in on Diamondi. I thought Graham came in from behind him and took him out, but the referee saw nothing wrong with it. There is a pull though by Robertson over on the far side that Don Robertson wasn't happy with, and it will be a free kick quickly taken by Rangers as Diamondi picks himself back up and Suter comes forward. Just the final seconds then in the first half. 0-0. Gassama here. Is there a final challenge for Rangers here as Jeffrey gets to the byline, cuts it back for Rothwell to go for a goal. It's blocked, and all the way out to Giga, but that will be it for the first half, as Joe Rothwell's shot looked like it was potentially going to be a test for John McCracken, but it was blocked on its way towards goal, and so Rangers could not find the breakthrough. And in truth, Dundee came closer to scoring in that first period than their host did. Gassama had the early opportunity for Rangers 16 minutes in from a very similar position from the one he scored, the opening goal here against Pilsen on Tuesday, but instead he tried to square it for Dessers and it didn't come off, and Dundee survived that one. On the half-hour mark, Dundee came very close to scoring. Finn Robertson initially had a shot blocked as it looked goal-bound. And when it came back into the box, Clark Robertson met it with his head and it came back off the upright as Dundee were denied the opening goal. Jack Butland looking on helplessly. Just a few minutes later, Butland had to react quickly to push the ball onto the post from the same player, Clark Robertson, albeit that one would have been offside had it ended up in the back of the net. And then just about 3 minutes before the interval, Jeffrey fired a couple of yards wide as Rangers looked to try and find an opening goal, but ultimately they have been unable to do so. And so at half-time in Ibrox, it's Rangers 0, Dundee 0.
The Scottish Premiership.
Live on Sports Sound.
Scottish football lives here.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
This season.
European dreams.
And this has been one of their best ever nights.
Live here. Sports Sound is following Scotland's teams in continental competition.
Continuing with Victoria Pilsen versus Rangers.
Rangers continue their quest to reach the Champions League.
As they take a 3-goal advantage across the Czech Republic.
Tuesday from 5:30.
Dessers scores!
Listen on digital radio or ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland Extra.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We've been on air since 2 o'clock this afternoon. 2 games in the top flight kicked off at 3. Livingston 3, Falkirk 1, St Mirren 0, Motherwell 0. 5:45 start at Ibrox. Rangers 0, Dundee 0, Billy Dodds. And you'd have to give an awful lot of credit to Stephen Presley's side in that opening 45 minutes.
Yeah, game plan absolutely to a T. Spot on, carrying it out. I said maybe halfway during the first half that maybe just a bit of belief keeping the ball. Have started to do that now, as Ian alluded to, where they're growing in confidence. Had the best opportunity to come off the post. I know another one did, but it was offside. I think Dundee will be really, really happy with their organisation. We said at the start of the game, when you asked me, Kenny, that Rangers struggle to break down teams who sit deep, and they've struggled a little bit today. And players like Max Aarons and people like that are starting to feel the pressure with the home crowd getting on them. He needs to take the ball more. There've not been a lot down the right hand side. Most of it's come from the left for Rangers, with a little bit of movement from Gassama and down that side, and Jeffrey on the odd occasion getting forward with Lyle Cameron getting in that little channel as well, but not enough to break them down. So all the plaudits so far to Dundee. Rangers have got to try and find a way to get through them, Kenny.
Yeah, certainly have, Billy. I mean, even when you look at it, we've seen the story so many times before. You touched on it earlier on, some of the games you were at last season where Rangers really struggled. The longer this goes on, it's going to get pretty tense and nervy in there.
Yeah, but listen, out of possession, Dundee have just funneled back into a 5-4-1. And they've been very energetic, getting from side to side, closing people down. They've been really, really hard to play through. I think the Gassama chance is actually a great. I think it's harder than any of the chances he's scored thus far. Sorry, easier. We're right behind it. There was a big, huge space to the goalie's left for him to just curl it in with his right foot. But then Dundee went up the park, and when they do break, and you've got to give credit to them, when they break, they're breaking in numbers, and they had that terrific one off the post. I've got to say, in a game like this, when Rangers are dominating possession, I don't know where the possession starts at. It must be 80%.
Yeah, 77%.
77%. I mean, you've got to think Tavernier's a better option than Max Aarons. Until maybe, Tavernier at times defensively is suspect. That's the accusation. But surely in a game like this, when you look at somebody to deliver a quality set player, a quality ball, or to move the ball, I think he'd be a far better option. But the D have worked manfully. It's a bit like watching Aberdeen totally change their tactics in the cup final against Celtic and playing incredibly deep. That's what they're doing. But when they break, they are breaking in numbers. They're breaking, their wing backs are trying to get high. There's 2 or 3 of the midfield players getting up in support of Hayes. So all credit to Dundee just now. Rangers, to be honest, it's been a bit dull watching them. For me, I don't think for 10 minutes spell they moved the ball quick enough. Other than that, it's been very pedestrian.
Yeah, certainly an intriguing second half to come from Ibrox. Stay with us right here on BBC Radio Scotland. As I said, 2 top flight games kicked off at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Livingston with a great victory over Falkirk, 3-1 in that one. Let's now hear from the Livy manager, David Martindale. He's been speaking with Jane Lewis.
Davy, a good 3-1 win at home, your opening league game. What pleased you most about it?
I thought it was a really good professional performance. There was a lot of different aspects to it. We had to try and play at times, but the first half there was a swirling wind and it was really difficult to get out our half. So Falkirk kind of had the majority play in the first half because it was difficult to get out, but we came up with 2 brilliant goals. I thought the first one was a great team goal, and the second one is still a good bit of team play there, but it's a great finish with wee Smithy. When we missed the penalty, I think Falkirk take a wee bit of heart from that. They got the park, they get the goal. And then I think it's a great finish with Bakir. So we brought him in to bring a kind of that experience into the forward line, and I think he showed that today.
You talk about Falkirk taking heart from the penalty. They did put you under a little bit of pressure at 2-1, but how much pleased were you with the character your side showed to kind of keep on going and to get that winning goal that sealed it?
I don't really think they put us under pressure in terms of our defensive first box entries. I don't think Jerome had a lot to do today, so they maybe had a wee bit of possession kind of in that top end of the mid-third, but we were quite happy with that because we changed our shape maybe to 3, we dropped into a 5-4-1. Falkirk at half time had changed it to a 3-5-2 and they went to McIver and Graham up top, and the game became a wee bit direct. It was hard to get pressure on the back three and Scott Bain, and the game became direct at that point. So, but I think when the game came into our final third, we dealt with most of the problems. I think the players got to take a lot of credit for that.
A lot of people, I think, have got you down as maybe kind of springing a surprise or two this season. Now that you're back in the top flight, what targets have you set for yourself, and do you think that that is doable?
I think first and foremost we need to consolidate in the Premiership. So for me, it's staying in the Premiership, however that looks. Last year it was going up, getting promoted, moving up through the playoffs. So for this year, staying in the Premiership, but we'll take it one game at a time. We will go through an adverse situation this year. It's a lot harder in the Premiership than what it was in the Championship, where you're going on a run of 10, 12, 14 games unbeaten. We're not going to do that this season, so it's just about isolating every single game and then focusing on that. Do I think we've got more than enough to stay in the Premiership? Of course I do, but it's going to be difficult because I feel at the top end of the table the clubs have got their acts together. They're a wee bit, they seem to let Hibs, Aberdeen, and then you throw in like Hibs and Hearts, Rangers, Celtic, but then you throw in a Dundee United and you throw in a St Mirren. I think the bottom half of the table's really, really difficult because there's 5 probably nailed on for that and everybody's chasing 6th. And St Mirren under Robbo's been fantastic, so you'd be a fool to bet against them. Jim with Dundee United, so it's going to make the bottom end of the table a lot harder. So hopefully we're not there. But again, big games, you've got to win your home games. You've got to make, if you can't win them, don't get beat. But today we went out to win the game and we've managed to get the 3 points.
Yeah, well done to David Martindale and Livingston. 3-1 victors over Falkirk this afternoon. A disappointing game, you'd have to say, in Paisley. Finished St Mirren 0, Motherwell 0. Let's now hear from the Saints manager, Stephen Robinson. He's been speaking with Brian McLaughlin.
Stephen, it wasn't a classic. What was your take in the game overall?
No, I thought it was a poor game overall. We certainly weren't at our best today. Motherwell passed the ball around a lot in their own half of the pitch without really getting anywhere. And I take responsibility for it. We overthought the press a little bit, and they were expecting us to press with real positivity, and I don't think we did. But I take the blame for that. We probably complicated it a little bit. On the ball as a group, we can be a lot better. That's what goes without saying. But we still had the best chances of the game, and arguably should win the game. So. Yeah, there's improvement all round to be had. Some positives. Keanu Baxter was excellent. I thought Miguel Freckleton was excellent as well. So, yeah, some good performances and others that can be a lot better, which they know.
It's difficult when a new manager comes in, your opposing manager anyway, in terms of how they're going to line up. Did they surprise you in any way at all?
No, not at all. We've watched all the pre-season games. We knew they'd play a lot at the back. I imagine they expected us to press them more aggressively than what we did, and as I say, I take full responsibility for that. I may have complicated that a little bit more than we needed to, instead of just pressing in a straight line. We spoke about that at half time. It was better in the second half. We took the ball off them on lots of occasions, high up the pitch, but we didn't take advantage of that press, unfortunately, and probably a draw is a fair result in the outcome. So even though we didn't play well, there was half chances, there was decent chances. Our decision making as a group has to be better and will be better. But as I say, I feel that we complicated the press a little bit today as a staff, and we look at that as well and take full responsibility.
In fairness, conditions were difficult. It was a swirling wind, a blustery wind right throughout the game. Yeah,
for both teams, it was the quality I didn't think was great from either side. And when we had opportunities to play, it's difficult when you go to put people through. It was blustery and winds, the one thing that kills football, unfortunately. But that's not an excuse. We're still better than what we showed. We're a more creative team than what we showed, and players will play better than what they showed today. We know that. But all in all, we take a point. Could have won with half the chances we got, but we didn't, so we go again, and we'll get better for that.
Next week, of course, no league matches, it's Cup. Hearts come here. What do you expect, apart from a pretty raucous atmosphere, because I'm sure the atmosphere inside the stadium next week will be electric?
Yeah, I went to watch Hearts on Monday night. Tynecastle was bouncing, absolutely superb. Atmosphere was fantastic. You know what you're going to get from Derrick's teams. It'll be very organised, hard to break down, and they've got a lot of talent. You know, the signings that they've had and the investment they've had, we know what we're going to face. We have to be better than what we were today, on and off the ball. But we will be. We have to come out with the physical aspect of the game, which we'll face. We have to be better than what we were today, and our quality on the ball. So we're looking for an improvement, a big improvement, and we expect a tough game.
Are they a stronger opponent now with Derrick in the dugout and with the investment in terms of, and when you hear the likes of Tony Bloom saying they can challenge for the title in the next 2 to 3 years, does that make them even more dangerous opponents?
I'm not sure if it makes them more dangerous. Obviously, everything's easier when you've got investment. You know, you can go and cherry pick the players you want. You don't have to wait for people to develop. You can get the finished product. So I'm sure Derrick's enjoying that opportunity again, and deservedly so. But Derrick's an experienced manager, very good manager. We know what we're going to face. As I say, I watched them live on Monday. We have to be better than we were today, and we will be, from our press, from our possession on the ball. And listen, it'll be a tight game, no doubt. It'll be a tight game, and we've got some very good players who haven't showed how good they were today, and will come to the fore.
Thanks, Stephen.
Cheers, Brian.
Stephen Robinson there. St Mirren 0, Motherwell 0, Livingston 3, Falkirk 1, half-time Rangers 0, Dundee 0. In the Championship today, Ayr United 0, Wraith Rovers 1, Dunfermline Athletic 2, Airdrie 0, Partick Thistle 1, Morton 1, Queen's Park 1, Arbroath 3. In League 1, East Fife 0, Alloa Athletic 1, Inverness Carry Thistle 2, Peterhead 0, Montrose 1, Kelty Hearts 2, Queen of the South 1, Hamilton Accies 4, Stenhouse Muir 1, Cove Rangers 0. In League 2, Clyde 0, Forfar Athletic 0, Elgin City 0, East Kilbride 1, Spartans 1, Dumbarton 2, Stirling Albion 0, Annan Athletic 0, Stranraer 1, Edinburgh City 2. So let's get back to our commentary match at Ibrox. Goalless at half-time. Billy Dodds and Ian McCall are there for us alongside Alistair Lamont. What will Russell Martin, Billy, be looking to change? Would you expect a change of personnel at the start, or is it something he should be looking to do to affect change in this game?
I wouldn't say at the start, Kenny. I would give them 10-15 minutes. The manager has to probably show a little bit of patience, because there has been occasions have looked dangerous. They have to play quicker. But when it sounds daft, that because when you're being patient, and then I'm saying playing quicker, but I mean once you get the right opportunity for either the pass or the wide man to burst in behind, or the full-back to burst and get forward and in behind the Dundee defence, which there's not a lot of space, but any time they've done that, they've looked dangerous, and they've got in behind them but just couldn't force an opportunity, the best one being Gassama getting in when Ian was talking about where he should have bent it for the far corner. It's been congested, and I use the word clogged, but you're going to be patient for that explosive movement. I think he'll be saying that, and he'll be saying keep on making those runs, we'll get through them, we'll get an opportunity. If we get a goal, we'll have to open up a little bit, but so far it's been, as I say, clogged, congested, and just not enough to break this Dundee stubborn defence down.
Stephen Presley, Ian, will be delighted, obviously, with the way things are going so far. He could, of course, perhaps seen his team in front with that one that came back off the post in the first half. Are there any players in particular, Ian, in that Dundee side that have impressed you?
The left side centre-back, Luke Graham, I think he's got a real chance. And it's not just in a 45-minute performance. I saw him 2 or 3 times last season for Falkirk. And I think he got, because he's left-sided and he's 6 foot, whatever he is, I think some managers think, well, we'll put him to left back, he'll do a job at left back. He's not a left back, he's a left centre back, and I think he's got a real chance to go on and make a name for himself in the game. Good player.
Well, the teams are back out at Ibrox. It's time to once again sit back and enjoy the action. Rangers against Dundee with Billy Dodds, Ian McCall and Alistair Lamont.
Yeah, thanks, Kenny. No changes for either side actually at the start of this second period, and as the guys are reflecting on, Stephen Presley will definitely be pretty content with the way things are going. Could have been happier even if one of those efforts that came off the post had counted. But as it is, goalless at Ibrox, and looking to stem that run, as I say here, of 19 straight defeats. We're back underway, and Jack Butland, as Rangers go from left to right, launches it long up towards Cyril Dessers, and he has fouled his man, is Ryan Astley, and it'll be a free kick to Dundee, who are kind of shooting into the sun actually as it begins to set away to our left, and could cause an issue actually for John McCracken for a spell until it actually goes down beneath the Broomloan stand. But the free kick's taken long and all the way through to Jack Butland, and Rangers, not to put too fine a point, and need to be a lot better second half if they're to emerge with all 3 points from this evening's game. Here's Jefty. You would imagine, as Billy said, the players out there will get 10 minutes or so to prove a point, but beyond that, Russell Martin will need to look to his bench if they still require the inspiration for the opening goal, as Rothwell picks up just about 15 yards inside the Dundee half, out to Aaron's right hand side, plays it back into Giga, midway now inside the Dundee half, goes square to Suter, and now Jefty. Dundee holding that good shape as Suter is closed down by Hay, because the pass off to Giga, and he comes out to the right hand side to Antman. Rangers will be looking for something special from him, like he showed on Tuesday on his debut. Here's Rothwell, spins out to the left hand side to Jefty. Gassama holding the touchline, but Jefty comes back infield to Rothwell. Gassama still there, but Rothwell again comes infield. Dessers with a poor touch, and it's played off him by Robertson, and again the Rangers attack comes to nothing, and a couple of minutes into this second period, still Rangers 0, Dundee 0.
And it's 2 minutes in, and it's just like watching the first half. It's just not quick enough. I mean, it was a decent little run by Dessers there, but Clark Robertson covered him really well.
Goal kick then for John McCracken to take over the halfway line. It comes, Marek Samuels rises, Mark Aarons kind of makes a bit of a back for him, but straight out of play, Rangers throw-in is awarded and taken. It's Aarons back to Giga, who takes it back off Butland, on loan from Wolves, following a €12 million move from Red Star Belgrade prior to that. And here's Rothwell, gets it back from Dessers on the halfway line. Rothwell once more out to the right hand side for Aarons. Aarons just tries to clip that one, looking for Antman, just as he did in the first half. There's too much on it from Aarons, and behind for a goal kick, and it's the kind of pass we saw from a bit deeper, it has to be said, on Tuesday night when he picked Antman out and it led to the third goal. It was a wonderful move, but just because Dundee are sitting that bit deeper, it's almost impossible unless you pick the
it is impossible, Al, as you just saw. I mean, you were right, that the reverse movement I was talking about before the game, but there's absolutely no space behind there. He has to take it to feet, or a striker needs to take it to feet.
Rangers win it back in the midfield, and will start again from the back, looking to build something. Both managers out at the edge of their technical areas, but with very different viewpoints just at the moment. 3.5 minutes into the second period, still goalless. As Jefty picks up, tries to move away from Joe Westley, who's done more defending than attacking. Jefty onto the ball down the left-hand side. McCracken comes out to the edge of his box, gets enough on it to ensure that Rangers couldn't get through on goal there. It was a brave and good bit of goalkeeping ultimately from McCracken, who came a long way.
Eventually, I'm thinking, oh, don't go there. He looked as if he's never favourite, and I'll tell you what, he covered the ground well, John McCracken, and did well. He got a glove on it and put it away for the throw-in.
Yeah, he did. As you said earlier, a couple of spells in the Dundee team last season, 20 appearances all told, and actually found himself in the Scotland squad early on, before losing his place to Trevor Carson in the Dundee side. Gassama into the penalty area, left-hand side, lays it back. Diamonde's saved by McCracken. First real save he's had to make all game, as Diamonde took the shot on from about 12 yards, and down went McCracken to his left-hand side and made a good stop, held on to it well, and he's arrowed it out here to the left-hand side for Hay. A wonderful pass there from McCracken after a good save, and now Samuels picks up on the left-hand side for Dundee, but he's stopped in his tracks by a combination of Aarons and Antman. But then Diamondi gives it away in a dangerous area. Digby taken down by Rodwell 30 yards from goal, and Dundee will have a free kick, central area, and promising position. But at the other end, just a moment or two ago, Billy, Rangers' best chance almost of the game.
Down the left side again, Gassama, and Ray Wright having trouble with him because it's played inside him, and then he gets it and he has a little run at him, does brilliantly, beat him, and then picks out a lovely cutback to Mo Diamondi. He catches it, not too bad, it's kind of into the ground, but it's still a good stop from John McCracken. He had to dive to his left, get a hold of it, and make sure he didn't spill it either.
Yep, and now at the other end, Ian, chance here. Paul Digby is over it along with the Mari Samuels. It's just left of centre here, but might be worth a crack, this. Although Digby looks like he's going to stand up towards a back post area. Indeed, that is exactly what he does. Robertson heads it back across goal. Astley with a looping header in. Dundee in front. Sensational scenes at Ibrox as Dundee make the breakthrough. With 6 minutes of the second half played, Clark Robertson winning the back post header back across goal, and there was Ryan Astley to loop the header over Jack Butland and into the back of the net. It is Rangers 0, Dundee 1.
It's an absolutely terrifically worked free kick. I mean, it's a great ball in. I mean, the trajectory of it was nice and low, just over the defender's head. It's not a loopy ball, so therefore there was some pace in the ball for Clark Robertson to get it back into danger area. But I tell you what a finish it is from Astley. I mean, it's just a magnificent header, and you knew, I don't know about you knew as soon as he headed it was in, because Butland was just looking at it. He had no chance. Might be offside here, Al.
Yeah, VAR are talking about drawing lines. I'm not sure if that would be, I guess it would be against Clark Robertson, if anyone, for the initial ball in, because when he headed it back in, there was plenty of players, I think, playing Astley on, so presumably it's for the initial ball in. While we're waiting on that, I should just give you a little bit of a heads up. There is going to be a split in our frequencies in just about 6 or 7 minutes at 7 o'clock, essentially. Those of you listening anywhere other than on 810 medium wave or Radio Scotland Extra will have to retune, because that will be from 92 to 95 FM. You'll have to take the floor with Gary Innes after the 7 o'clock news. But the goal is going to be awarded. Clark Robertson was onside, and Dundee have a sensational lead here at Ibrox, and Rangers have it all to do. Dundee putting themselves in a fabulous position as Gassama picks up left-hand side, gets to the byline, and it comes to the edge of the box to Aarons. Aarons chests it down, quickly closed down, tries to get the shot away, but he's blocked, and Antman can't pick up and bring it under control, and he's going to get a booking actually for eventually fouling Finn Robertson as he tried to pick up possession. So 53 played, and the scoreline from Ibrox reads Rangers 0, Dundee 1.
If that doesn't inject some pace into Rangers play, I don't know what will. But going back to what Ian said, I mean, just that little clip from Digby, Robertson, all the big guys were at the back, but once Robertson's going to win it, Astley frees themselves up, but he still gets so much to do. We knew it was in because the way he looked at it, but he's away beyond the far post. He's got to get some movement on it at the neck to try and get it across, to get it back across Jack Butland, and Astley did absolutely brilliantly to do that.
Well, Ryan Astley notched one against Montrose, but I imagine that goal to put his side ahead at Ibrox will be one that lives long with him, essentially, if they can hold on for victory. And there's a long way to go still, 35 minutes to play, but that'd be a momentous goal if it brought about a Dundee victory. Rangers have been rather pedestrian at times in this game, as Giga picks up about 15 yards inside the Dundee half. Russell Martin will come under severe scrutiny if his side have only picked up 1 point from their opening 6, as Gassama comes in off the angle on the left side. Back to Rodwell, he rolls it out to Jeffrey left hand side, crossing opportunity, and it comes. Cameron meets it, but his header goes wide. not too far away as he arrived late in the penalty area to get on the end of Shefty's cross, and Rangers are going to make changes. Well, I don't think the Rangers fans are particularly pleased about this change, as Lyle Cameron is replaced, and so too Modi Amondi. The players coming on, Nico Raskan and Kieran Dowell after 55 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Raskan, listen, for me, he would never be with the team. But I think maybe that's the exertions of the other night. I don't know. But it's certainly, I don't think, you know, there was a chance of a goal there from Lyle Cameron. He timed his run into the box absolutely brilliantly. Just couldn't get his header on target. Next thing he's taken off. I think that's why you heard the boos.
I suspect, Billy, and you might differ in your opinion here, but I have a feeling that the emergence of Kieran Dowell from the bench there was what attracted most groans.
Oh, it was. Let's not beat about the bush here. That's exactly what it was. He's going to have to show big character, Kieran Dowell, to win over the Rangers fans first and foremost, but just take part in this game, because it's not a great welcome for him.
Let's see if he can affect things in a positive manner as Rangers pick up on the left-hand side. I say that split of our frequencies is approaching, so tune into 810 medium wave or Radio Scotland Extra, or indeed through our website. You can listen to the full commentary of the rest of this game. As here's Antman, clips it in looking for Aarons, but Luke Graham climbs high to head that clear from the edge of the penalty area. Giga picks up on the halfway line. Rothwell's there before Hay slides in. It was a bit of a lunge there from Hay, but Rangers have it. Listen to the crowd, they are frustrated at the slow nature of Rangers play here, as Antman just nudges it back to Aarons, and now Rothwell gets it back from Raskan, the substitute, plays it square. Rothwell to Suter, out to the left hand side now for Gassama. Shefty goes ahead of him, tries to find Raskan. I think the crowd wanted it to come into the penalty area. Raskan battling away, he's on his side a corner on the left hand side. 57.5 minutes played as Rangers look for an equaliser here at Ibrox. In comes the corner, it's just over the top, and that just gives me a chance to say there is a choice of listening in the rest of our commentary match. Stick with us on BBC Radio Scotland Extra and 810 medium wave, or at the website 92 to 95 FM. It's Take the Floor with Gary Ennis, which is coming up shortly after the 7 o'clock news. If you're still listening, then it's Rangers 0, Dundee 1, the shock scoreline at Ibrox with 58 minutes on the clock here. Rangers coming close just a moment ago, but not close enough as far as their fans here are concerned. 32 minutes to find at least one goal, but even that would not satisfy the home fans, and Suter's giving it away. Dundee so well organised, the plaudits thus far going their way, and here comes Finn Robertson. He's clipped by Giga, he's going to surely go off here. He has absolutely got to be shown a red card. Yes indeed, Rangers down to 10 men. A rash decision from Giga to bring Finn Robertson down 30 yards from goal as he was played in behind, and things go from bad to worse for Rangers. A goal down and now a man down as Nasser Giga sees red. VAR have already checked it. Nasser Giga makes the long walk towards the tunnel, and with 59 on the clock, it is Rangers 0, Dundee 1, and Rangers are down to 10.
The bizarre bit about that, I don't know if Dodgy agrees, is you could just see it happening. You just saw it happening 5-10 seconds before it did. The pass was on for certain to Robertson, and he just got across Giga, and I'm not sure he meant to bring him down, but he certainly did bring him down, and it was rightly a red card.
He didn't even complain, Ian. He just walked, he just turned and walked. He knew he was going off, but it all started with John Suter giving away cheap possession. I think it was at Digby or Jones that picked up, and then I'm thinking if he can release this, Finn Robertson's gone, and he was beyond, and there's no other option for the referee but to send Giga off.
There's another free kick then for Dundee up towards the Rangers area. It swung in eventually towards the back post, but straight out of play. Well, Rangers need to show real character here in the closing half an hour a man down. But here goes Dessers chasing the long through ball, but out comes McCracken and clutches that at the edge of his area. But well, this is a test of their mettle, Rangers. A goal down and a man down with half an hour to play against Dundee, who were massively unfancied against a Rangers side who have had the Indian sign over them here at Ibrox. In fact, in games generally between the sides over the past number of years. But it is Stephen Presley's men who hold the advantage going into the final half hour, and Rangers have been miles off it. Russell Martin said to Kennedy pre-match, this side looked fresh in training, but they have shown little inspiration over the course of the opening hour, and they trail by a goal to nil. Here's Gassama looking to change that. Now Rothwell, midway inside the Dundee half, rolls it back to Aarons. Aarons comes forwards, Dundee dropping deep once more, out it goes to Antman, up against Samuels, rolls it back to Aarons. Midway again inside the Dundee half, Dowell now, pokes it back to Aarons again. He wants it back, but Aarons takes it on himself, looks to play in Antman, and then he checks back and plays it for Dowell instead. Dowell might fancy a crack here, instead he plays the pass into Aarons inside the box. Half clear, Raskan zips it out to Antman, right hand side, up against Samuels here. Antman has to check back the way. Gets it to Dowell at the edge of the box. He'll stand up towards the back post looking for Dessers, doesn't get there, headed away to the edge of the area. Dundee trying to scramble it clear, then it's thumped over the halfway line by Robertson. Just going back to that Giga challenge, whether he meant it or not, I don't know, it just looked to me a little bit lazy almost from the defender. I felt like if he could have stayed up, he might well have got back at Robertson. But anyway, here's Dowell into the penalty area. Raskan takes over, right hand side is Antman. Back with Dowell, he lays it for Aarons, who sends it to the back post, but it's aimless. Wright only gets a half clear though. Aarons and Dowell both still have some convincing of the Rangers fans to do to suggest that they have a rightful place in this Rangers team. I think
I would bring on Tavernier just now. I just think I feel for him. Aarons is struggling, he's taking no responsibility. The crowd is definitely getting to him.
Oswald, a brilliant run to the edge of the box, he's still going into the area, eventually lays it off to Antman. Antman now, right of the box, lays it back to Aarons on his left foot. He really wanted that on his right so he could shoot. It's Jeffy instead, and that's blocked by Wesley. Now the Rangers fans look to get behind him. That was a terrific run by Rothwell.
Yeah, I mean, we were told that he's really good at running with the ball and taking his team up, and obviously he's playing in a defensive midfield, but that was like 2 or 3 times in the game he sprung forward the ball and looked really impressive.
Another double change coming from Rangers. This time it's going to be Tavernier and Danilo. We suspect for Aarons anyway. I wonder if it will be a straight swap with Dessers for Danilo, or if it's going to be more attacking as the corner comes in from Rothwell, and then the keeper gets a good punch. It comes out to Jeff, the edge of the box, and he just slashes it way off target. Just lacking a bit of composure there, Jeffy. And here come the changes. And it's going to be Joe Rothwell, actually, who's replaced by Tavernier. Again, just after a really positive impact. Aarons also making way for Danilo, so Dessers stays on the field. And Rangers, Billy, they have no choice really, they've got to go for it. 63, almost 64 played, they trail by a goal to nil.
They have, and they're under pressure because they're down to 10 men, and it's so difficult for them because because of the disappointing result against Motherwell last week, if they end up losing this one, it's been such a poor domestic campaign, the start to it for Russell Martin and his team, and you can see that the pressure from the stands is transferring into some of the players. And this is what I was talking about having a big mentality. You don't play well, just make sure you win the game. But they're up against it now, been a man down, and Dundee look pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to say Dundee, although they've been, they have been negative, they've played 5-4-1, but when they've got at Rangers, when they've broken Rangers, it hasn't just been 1 or 2 bodies, it's been 3, 4, 5 at times, and that's one thing that Stephen has got right, and it was a really positive way of playing the game.
Yeah, Dundee in a brilliant position. They have worked ever so hard. There's going to be a change here. I'm not sure Wesley's going to be able to continue. Just had a bit of treatment, but Yogan is going to come on for Dundee. It remains to be seen whether he replaces Wesley, who does re-enter the field of play. He picks up on a loose ball there in the middle of the park and advances towards the Rangers goal, but it's straight at Jack Buckland from 22 yards. And Rangers with 25 minutes to find at least a leveller here at Ibrox against Dundee. It's Tavernier, the substitute, and wearing the armband now again. Plays it square for Suter.
It's like 3-4-2 they've gone, Al, when they're in possession, pushing Danilo high, and he's just dropped him off the game and they lose it. But the back three is Jefty, John Suter and Tavernier.
It's bold. We know that Russell Martin likes to play an attacking game, and he's got to take a chance here to try and win all 3 points, or at least one of them, as Raskan fires it out to the left hand side to Gassama. Gassama takes a good touch. He's up against Free right in the left hand side of the box, comes back in on the angle, clips it in. Dessers can't make anything of it, and he's fouled his marker there in the penalty area as Luke Graham gets to his feet, and Yogan is still preparing to come on here for Dundee. Looks as it will be Wesley Shirley, who's down again on the edge of his own penalty area on his debut. He's putting a good shift as of all the Dundee players as they are working ever so hard, and it will be indeed Joel Wesley to be replaced by Tony Yogan for the final quarter of this game.
I mean, it is a really bold thing Russell Martin's done, but ultimately, if they get beaten here today and Celtic win their game in hand tomorrow, and I know Hibs, Hearts, Aberdeen might all of something to say, but they go 5 points behind Rangers after 2 games.
Behind Celtic, yeah, absolutely.
Behind Celtic, sorry.
Yeah, and it's already a yawning chasm if that were to happen. Time yet for Rangers to put things right, of course, but Stephen Presley's side have been so well drilled, and you know, given the scepticism surrounding his appointment, you have to give him a lot of credit for the way he set out his side here today. No, it's not the most adventurous way of playing, but they have done what he's asked of them to a T, and they've got that goal that gives them something to hold on to in these closing stages as Graham turns away from Dessers. Good composure again from the young centre-back, and he takes it again in a deep area and plays it out to Samuels this time, who slides it down the line for the substitute Yogan, out to the left-hand side up against Tavernier. Yogan, little step over to the byline, stands up, it's just over Hay. Jefty wasn't quite sure who was coming behind him, so he heads it out to the far side and then keeps it in and plays it up towards Danilo, but he's beaten to it in the air. And Dundee will look to build again. They have a 1-goal advantage, and it's the goal scorer Ryan Ashley who tries to play it forward over on the far side, but it's cut out. But Dundee have it back once more. Remember, Rangers down to 10. Nasser Giga sent off in his first league appearance at Ibrox. Now it's Dowell crossing the halfway line for Rangers, out to Gassama on the left hand side. Wants options a bit closer to him. Dowell's there, here he is, clips it into the areas over Dessers. Unless Dowell plays a perfect pass, the Rangers fans are just on his back all the time, which cannot be easy to deal with.
Yeah, and as I said, it's going to take strong character from him. At least he's playing his natural position. For me, when he was in the team, he's playing as a winger, and it didn't really suit him. He's a midfielder, and it gives him a better opportunity, but that's more difficult when they're down to 10 men as well. But you're right, if he doesn't make the perfect one, they're on him.
Yeah, I just wonder if, you know, Russell Martin's got to surely take that into consideration when he's making his changes. But if he feels that Dowell's the best player to go on and try and make an impact, then that's the substitution he's got to make, as Tavernier's got a bit of defending here to do up against Imari Samuels. Takes a little chance there, but turns away from his marker in the end and plays it into the midfield for Raskan, who encourages Danilo to drop off and plays it out to the right hand side. Now Danilo to Antman. Antman comes back in field. Rangers need the likes of Antman now to really step up. It's Raskan back to Tavernier, clips in, looking for Dessers. Robertson rises, gets a glancing header. It won't be kept in by Dre Wright. It will be a Rangers corner. It's 69.5 on the clock. It's Rangers 0, Dundee 1.
Yeah, still not quick enough from Rangers at times. I know they've only got 10 players, and you know, I think Dundee, if they can just show a little bit of composure and just pass it, you know, make 4 or 5 passes, can really take the sting out of this game and possibly get another goal in the counter.
Corner kick from the left-hand side. Outswinger, the header's won by John Souttar. Or was it Dessers actually coming away from goal in the end? Either way, it was straight into the arms quite comfortably of John McCracken, and Dundee continue to lead by a 1-0 here at Ibrox, looking for a first victory here since 2001. Rangers were hoping for a 20th consecutive victory here over today's opponents, but at the moment that looks like an unlikely prospect.
It does look like, as Ian's saying, it's going to take a quick bit of play, and it's tough when you're only 9 outfield players, or something special, and it's going to take something like Tavernier hitting that pinpoint pass. It nearly just did. Poor Clark Robertson got a little flick on it with his head to put Dessers in. It's going to have to be perfection that gets him back in the game.
Here's Raskan, halfway line. Plays it square to Tavernier, just steps over into the Dundee territory, tries to play it in the channel for Dessers, but again it's Graham. He just overran it though as he tried to bring it forward, and now it's Antman, picks out Dessers. Dessers gets it under control, but eventually closed down there at the back as Dundee ensure there's no way through for Dessers. Dowell's intercepted the pass forward and finds Raskan. Out to the left-hand side for Jefty. Gassama now takes over at the angle of the box, plays it on to Jefty once more. At the byline, in it comes. Robertson repels it to the other Robertson. It's Finn Robertson, just plays it down the right flank and gets Dundee up the park ever so slightly. But Rangers will come again. They have only got the 10 men, but still dominating possession, but still losing by a 0-0. Out they come, Rangers once more to the right-hand side. It's Antman up against Samuels. Gets the ball into the box. Again, it's Clark Robertson, who's been absolutely brilliant, both at the back and indeed with the assist header for the opening goal here at Ibrox. Rangers with a throw-in in an advanced area. Tavernier gets it back from Antman. Now it's Dowell once more. Thought about trying to squeeze it through there for Tavernier. Back it goes to Souttar. The Rangers fans want it to go forward. Rangers have to stick to Russell Martin's game plan though, as Dowell plays it square to Jefty. Out to Gassama. Gassama left-hand side, right backing off him, up to the edge of the penalty area, back with Jefty. Jefty nudges it to Raskan. He plays it square to Tavernier. 25 yards from goal. He arrows it goalwards, but a couple of yards wide of the right-hand post to John McCracken. And with 72.5 played at Ibrox, it's Rangers 0, Dundee 1.
We covered a couple of games last year, Alan. There's a mental side of it, I think, at times. Even with Jefty there, he had the best chance to shoot, and he passes the ball 5 yards back to his teammate. And then Tavernier shoots. He shows a bit of guts to shoot, but it wasn't a great opportunity. It certainly wasn't as good as Jefty's.
He was in the best position, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Whereas, that's why you've got to admire James Tavernier, because when he gets an opportunity, he takes responsibility to get it out his feet, hit the strike. Yeah, he's screwed it wide, but I think a lot more Rangers players have to take that responsibility, and things might change.
Yeah, well, the mentality of the Rangers squad is it's not a new issue, is it? We've heard previous managers talk about it. Here's Finn Robertson in an advanced area for Dundee, tries to get the cross in, it comes back off him though, and it's out for a Rangers goal kick. But certainly Barry Ferguson, when Billy and co were in there at the end of the season, it was something that Barry Ferguson brought up, something that has been a topic of discussion on multiple occasions. Listen to the boos, and that's because Kieran Dowell just checked back in field. The man can do absolutely no right, and you've got to feel for him. As Raskan plays it out to the right-hand side for Antman. Antman back into Raskan, about 30 yards from goal. Swings it in towards the back post. It's over Dessers, away by right. Jefty will pick up, plays it back in field to Tavernier. Tavernier now, midway inside the Dundee half. To his right is Raskan. Raskan out to Antman. Antman comes in field onto the left foot, crosses it in. Not a bad ball, but again Clark Robertson with a clearing header. Rangers hemming Dundee in, but Dundee look largely pretty comfortable in dealing with it. Anything that comes in the air, and Clark Robertson or one of his two central defenders alongside him, Astley and Graham, are dealing with it, and Rangers have got to provide a little bit more ingenuity.
Yeah, the three centre-backs have been absolutely outstanding, all of them in different ways, and there's a really nice balance as well with Luke Graham being naturally left-sided, so they've defended really, really well. One good chance I think Rangers had, maybe two.
but it's now taken them to really up the ante, play with that pace, and it's still not right, as Ian's alluded to, but it's suddenly realised the position they're in before they start doing things in the manner that they should have been at the start of the game.
Well, how quickly the mood has changed from Tuesday night. There was almost euphoria at the display and result against Victoria Pilsen. Dundee on the attack again. It's played for Samuels inside the Rangers area. Tavernier makes a sliding challenge. It came off Samuels last in the view of Don Robertson. It is a goal kick, but all of a sudden the mood here at Ibrox is, I wouldn't go as far as say poisonous, but it's very, very negative because of the way Rangers are performing, and Raskin gives it away, and it's Digby coming forward. Jones, in fact, plays it to Hay. He tries this snapshot at goal. It's blocked and falls for Danilo, still well inside his own half, out to Gassama. He's quickly closed down by Astley, and a couple of Dundee players are going down, feeling the effects of the work they put in. 15 to play, and both left back Samuels and I think potentially Finn Robertson also down. They've definitely put the effort in. There might have to be a couple of changes here by Stephen Presley. 14 to play, Rangers 0, Dundee 1.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the effort has been, and I'd love to see the distance Finlay Robertson's covered in the game. It's a bit, I don't think the time wasting. It's a wee bit early to do that. There's still 15 minutes plus injury or whatever there is to go, but listen, the game's really strange now. It's so spread out. I mean, Rangers try and attack, then Dundee are trying to get bodies forward at time to score that clinching second goal. A bit like the St Mirren. I think St Mirren won 2-0 here last year. The clinching second goal was in a breakaway, but Rangers just need to do more.
No, it's another attacking change here, Billy. Finlay Curtis is coming on for Jefty. He's certainly going for it, Russell Martin. He's got, I guess, no option other than to do that, but they're light for defenders, certainly.
Well, they are. It looks as if they'll go just two at the back, and we'll see where Finn Curtis goes. There's one thing about this young lad, he won't hide. He's got a remarkable attitude, just desire to win games. So he looks as if he's going to the right. Is it Gassama who's going in the left? So very attacking full-back wingers, you would have to say, rolled into one.
Yeah, Antman's drifted across to the left-hand side for the moment as well. Samuels and Robertson, I think, are both back up, or Samuels is waiting to come back on. I thought Presley might take the opportunity to change it. Here's Dowell coming forward for Rangers, looking for an equaliser first and foremost, before they can even think about a victory. Tavernier now sings it to the back post. Danilo getting no change out of Astley over there, and it's hammered forward by Dre Wright.
Just brilliant physical defending, one-on-one again.
Jack Butland hesitating there, and that's where the Rangers fans are again unhappy about the lack of communication there between him and Suter. Eventually Butland come out and took charge. 12 to play, 1-0 Rangers lead. Samuels has still not been allowed back in the field of play as Tavernier plays it into the feet of Antman. It's a handball there at the edge of the box. It might have been, but the referee deeming it not to be one worth punishing.
Dundee would have been wise there, I'll just to boot it into touch and try and get Mari Samuels back on the pitch. I don't think they even realise they're down to 10 themselves.
Yeah, 10 aside at the moment as Curtis gets involved and plays it back to Tavernier. He swings it, and again he's looking for Dessers, but the Rangers forward line have had absolutely no change out of Dundee's back line. And here come Dundee, 2-on-1 here. If Robertson can do something quickly, Raskin gets back at him, makes a really good challenge. Robertson claims it was a foul, didn't look like it, and Robertson, Don Robertson that is, was in a good position to judge it. Rangers come forward once more. Samuels is back on the field, and Dundee's numerical advantage is restored. Danilo after a good pass from Dowell, but it's out to the left-hand side for Antman, coming in off the left, goes for goal straight at McCracken, and it's still Rangers 0, Dundee 1, 11 to play.
Tavernier did well in the last attack. I mean, that's a shot from Antman straight at the goalkeeper. Crowd are not happy as another Dundee player hits the deck, but going back to the chance, Dundee did a 2v1, and Tavernier did well not to rush to the ball and just stay with the man for as long as possible to let Raskin get back and win the challenge against Finn Robertson. What a chance for Dundee though.
Yeah, I think it's Hay that's down this time, Ashley Hay, and the ball's been knocked out of play by John McCracken, and
he has been absolutely terrific, Ashley Hay, up front on his own. He's just been absolutely outstanding. It was him there that set the, he won a was 70-30 in favour of the Rangers player, and they won the ball in there, then got the touch, and he was on his way.
He's a unit, isn't he?
Strong boy, great in there.
Yeah. Yep, coming from Brentford, Stephen Presley's old club, where he was head of individual development most recently, before leaving and then taking on this role at Dundee. And he's brought Ashley Hay up the road with him, and he's certainly put himself about to really good effect. But just trotting off here in this near side for the moment, but he's been allowed straight back on, and Rangers start again. 10 minutes to play plus added on time, of which there'll be a reasonable chunk as Tavernier picks up midway inside the Dundee half. Can they find a leveller here, Rangers? Trailing by a Ryan Astley goal to nil in the second half. Rangers have been short of inspiration. Suter leaves it for Raskan, again midway inside Dundee territory. Tavernier takes over once more, tries to find Antman, but it's robbed by Finn Robertson just at the edge of his area, and he doesn't have an out ball there, and he's complaining to Yogan that there was nothing on for him, and he had to just play it out for a throw into Rangers, which is quickly taken. Raskan gets it to Suter now. Suter midway inside the Dundee half. Now Tavernier. Rangers have got to be cuter about the balls into the box, because everything that's come in has been well defended by the Dundee defenders. Tavernier square for Suter. Everyone back in the Dundee defensive third apart from Jack Butland as Tavernier takes it once more. Dessers at the edge of the area. Out to Dowell it goes in the angle of the box, right hand side. Not a bad ball in, headed clear by Astley at the back post. Then Yogan picks up. Was he being fouled by Tavernier? Yes, he was, says Don Robertson, as Emile Aqua prepares to come on here for Dundee. He's going to replace Ashley Hay for the closing 8 and a bit minutes, and he will try and preserve that 1-goal advantage that Dundee have. No one gave Dundee an earthly coming here, Ian, but well, they are just minutes away from a huge result, and this would be potentially season changing and really change people's perspective of what Stephen Presley might be able to achieve at the club.
That's a great point, Al. I mean, I said they'll need luck as well, but here we go.
Yeah, Samuels could be in here as the ball's won at the edge of the Rangers box, cut back, but only to Tavernier, almost in the penalty spot, and now he wants options ahead of him, and it's played for Gassama, who's on the right hand side just at the moment. Fires it forward looking for Dessers. A pretty hopeful ball and cut out by Ashley. Graham picks up at the edge of his own penalty area. Again, shows good composure and strength to hold off Danilo. Dundee could have cooled the game off on a couple of occasions, haven't quite been able to do so, but with 7.5 to play, they lead by a goal to nil. Stephen Presley, as I said, could do with a statement win, and he's not all that far away from providing that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's required luck, because Rangers haven't cut them open. I mean, there's only a couple of times when Stephen's got his tactics spot on. 5-4-1, yes, but they've broke very, very quickly. Got their goal, and it wasn't the only chance they've had.
That's Gassama, who's on the right hand side at the moment. He gets it back from Dowell. Gassama into the box, right hand side, checks back inside onto his left foot, gets the ball stuck under his feet, then Dowell sends it back in. Dessers hits the deck, claims for a foul in there. Didn't seem to be too much in it, and certainly the referee hasn't blown for anything either. It will be checked, as everything is in the box, by VAR, but Rangers come forward once more. Tavernier finds Dowell right hand side. Rangers looking for a late equaliser, rolls it back to Finlay Curtis. He sweeps it towards the back post. It's over Dessers. Antman will chase it over on the left hand side. Dre right with him. Antman can't keep it in, out for a throw into Dundee midway inside their own half. 6 minutes to play of the 90. Rangers 0, Dundee 1.
The only thing I would say about Dundee now, they're a man up, obviously. I wouldn't be sitting too deep, because they're allowing Rangers, even though they've got a man less, to find the space, and they've got enough to put some quality in there. I think Dundee have got to get maybe 10 yards higher and try and get to the ball at source and try to stop these crosses coming in, because at some point I think they might put a ball in, it might just find space, but Dundee are allowing them to do that and just hope to defend their 6-yard box.
Well, Rangers, as I say, lost 3 of their home games last season. They all came in succession here. Defeats to St Mirren, Motherwell and Hibs, part of a 5-game losing streak in all competitions, and 7 without a win at Ibrox. It was unprecedented, But they would certainly have been hoping to start this season at home with a victory against a Dundee side that haven't begun the campaign all that positively. But what a performance it's been from the visitors, and they are now 5 minutes away from a really monumental victory, and they've got a corner kick over on the right hand side to be taken by Omari Samuels, who's in.
This is coming in still with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, he's in no great rush, but yep, they've loaded the box. Rangers have got everyone back to defend this. They know they cannot afford to lose again, or else it is absolutely game over. As Samuels on the left foot from the right hand side prepares to swing it into the Rangers penalty area. Fired back post. Down goes Graham as Finn Robertson tries to keep it in. He's failed to do so. It's out for a throw into Rangers on this near side, and Finn Robertson's going to get a yellow card for just a little bit of time wasting there. And 4 minutes left, just a little bit over that. Dundee with a 1-goal advantage. As the Rangers build from the left hand side, it's Antman just inside Dundee territory. It's been the same old movie for the Rangers fans. I've seen this on umpteen occasions in recent times, a failure to be able to break down a doughty defence, a well organised back line, and it looks like it's going to come back to bite them, to haunt them once more, as Dowell takes a throw in back the way to Suter. Suter's 15 yards inside the Dundee half, plays it to Raskin, and now Tavernier midway inside Dundee territory, right of centre, plays it back in field to Suter. Rangers, you would imagine, would virtually settle for a point now, albeit it would still be a poor result, but in the grand scheme of things, it's better than zero right now, as Curtis picks up right hand side, closed down by Samuels, back to Tavernier just outside the box, dinks it in, glancing header from Danilo. Dessers is there as well, but McCracken's first to it, just at the edge of his 6-yard box, gathers that in, and it's still Rangers 0, Dundee 1, 3 minutes to play.
It did really well, and so did Astley and Robertson, the centre-backs, because it was a terrific ball from Tavernier right into the area where you can score a goal from.
That's what I'm talking about, they're not getting close to him to start with.
Good link up there between Samuels and Yogan. The ball forward is one for Aqua to chase. Suter's there just ahead of him, plays it off. A Dundee substitute, and it'll be a throw into Rangers deep in their own territory, quickly taken by Tavernier. You can only imagine what the sound is going to be like around Ibrox if this scoreline remains the same, although already the stands are emptying. The fans have not enjoyed what they have seen for the most part, other than that section of visiting fans across on the far side who are very much enjoying a trip to Ibrox for the first time in a long time. Here's Raskin, still inside his own half. Rangers a goal down to Dundee with 2 to play. Tavernier has it, stepping into Dundee territory, forward for Danilo. Danilo neither for Antman nor Dessers. It's a poor pass from a Brazilian, cleared up towards Aqua, who I thought was maybe pulling Tavernier there, but the referee saw nothing wrong with it, and he's managed to get it out to the right hand side to Finn Robertson, who's had a wonderful game and steps away from Raskin with a little bit of trickery. Raskin eventually robs him of possession over on the far side, and Antman picks up, tries to feed it to Gassama, but back came Dre Wright to get there first. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes remaining. Dundee leading by a goal to nil at Ibrox. Stephen Presley makes his way back into his dugout on the cusp of a massive result for him and his side. Throw into Dundee over on the far side.
I think there'll be a fair amount of injury time out, just with Dundee
7 minutes,
hit the deck.
There you go. Not being shown as yet, but it will be shortly. That's the recommendation from the VAR room, as Aqua and Suter tussle, a bit of shirt tugging by both, but it's back with Butland, who plays it for Tavernier. So 1 minute of the 90 plus what sounds like 7 minutes more for Rangers to find a leveller, or for Dundee to hold on for a victory that has evaded them for the past 24 years here at Ibrox. Raskin out to Gassama, left hand side. Rangers been short of ideas throughout the game, but Gassama gets into the box. Now is he clipped? Is he clipped? Yes, he is. Penalty to Rangers in the final minute of the 90. Stephen Presley can't believe it. Gassama looked like he had his heels clipped, he went down as if he was making sure it was going to be awarded, and VAR now will just double check whether he was really looking to buy that, or if indeed he was truly fouled as he get in behind.
Yeah, there's no doubt. See, once they play, it's that side again where Gassama's given Ray Wright problems all day, and then once he gets inside Ray Wright, I thought Ray Wright had won it, but then when he doesn't and it breaks for Gassama, he's got to stay away, you know. He's got to make sure he doesn't get contact, take the cut back, and hopefully one of your defenders clear it. But once he goes in for the second bite at it, it's a penalty. I don't see this being overturned. I'd be surprised.
Yeah, it's a bit like Al, you were saying about the sending off, that Chica might have been lazy, but the first thing you're taught is to get across somebody, and that's how Chica gets sent off. And that's how I think Rangers have got a penalty, because he got across him really well, and Ray Wright just couldn't help himself. Dodge's right, they should maybe just let him cross it and take your chances rather than do that. But I think it's a penalty. I don't think it'll be overturned.
Well, it has been checked, as every incident inside the penalty area is under VAR. Interestingly, James Tavernier, the skipper, has picked up the ball. Cyril Dessers notched a penalty in midweek very confidently. James Tavernier, actually, I can't quite remember if it was his last one, but he certainly missed one about this stage against Queen's Park. Ian, I think the on-field decision of penalty kick is confirmed, but it will be Tavernier to step up in injury time to try and secure a point for his side. You surprised it's him, not Dessers, that's taken this one, either of you?
Well, he scored one at the end of last season, Cyril, and then he did the same the other night and took it well. But I tell you what, it's taken some bottle from James Tavernier to take this, because if he misses it, with what's been happening to him and been left out of the team, it gives more ammunition from some people to have a pop at him.
James Tavernier then, from 12 yards, steps up against John McCracken. Who's going to come out on top in this duel? Tavernier to try and earn a point for Rangers. A deathly silence around Ibrox. It's Tavernier to score! Sends McCracken the wrong way, and Rangers are level in the second minute of stoppage time. And have they now salvaged the points? It's still not what they came into the game looking for. But Stephen Presley, so close to a massive result, and they might yet get it. They're going to make a double change in search of the 3 points, or perhaps just to cling on to the one, as Rangers will certainly go for the victory now. But it's Billy Cometio and Aaron Donnelly are going to come on for the closing few minutes of injury time. But James Tavernier stepping up, taking that responsibility as captain and rolling it into the bottom corner as McCracken dived to his left. It went to his right instead. It's Rangers 1, Dundee 1.
There's still 5-6 minutes to go now, I think. So, I mean, Rangers could do the unthinkable, mind you. So could Dundee, because Rangers, I think, will be throwing everything at it to try and get a winner, and that would leave spaces with their two-man defence.
It's been bold from Russell Martin. He talked about the 3-4-2 and having a go. I think Dundee have stepped off it and said we'll try and hold what we've got, and I know it's hard when you come to places like Ibrox and to do that, but I think if they're getting Rangers' faces, there are probably get more opportunities.
Sisters knocked it behind for a Dundee corner, and Dundee have been so good aerially in this game at both ends. The goal came from a set piece that was won by Clark Robertson and nodded across goal and into the back of the net by Ryan Astley, and they've got a chance here, having been pegged back potentially, to regain the lead in the 4th minute of added-on time. James Tavernier's second goal of the season, his 132nd as a Rangers player, has dragged Rangers level. But here come Dundee, looking for a second goal here at Ibrox in the dying moments. Swung in dangerously, nodded over the top by the goal scorer Ryan Astley. He knows that was another opportunity at the near post, but just too high on that occasion. Rangers come forward immediately as Tavernier sweeps it out to Gassama, left hand side. Here goes Gassama, Ray Wright trying to get back with him. Gassama on the left hand side, looking to take right on once more, rolls it back to Antman. Antman at the edge of the box, delays his shot, pokes it back to Gassama, left hand side into Antman once more. Gassama again goes for goal, McCracken holds it. That was a chance, potentially the chance for the winner, but Gassama couldn't beat the keeper on that occasion. And now come Dundee forward, down the left hand side. It's Shogun down the left, Dowell looking to hold him up, takes him on the left. Cross comes Tavernier, gets the boot in, but Ugan's still got a good strength and finds Donnelly for Cometio, back with Donnelly left hand side, down the flank it goes for Ugan, out of play for a Rangers throw-in. Well, it's been breathless these last few minutes, both sides potentially looking for a winner here, but it's 1-1 in the 5th minute of added on time. Here comes Suter. Rangers fans remaining inside the ground want them to go for a winner. They have to go for a winner as Raskan sends it in, looking for Danilo. Claims from the stands that was a push in his back, but the free kick actually is gone against Cyril Dessers for his challenge inside the penalty area, and a yellow card as well shown to the Rangers striker for the subsequent actions, and Dundee will get the free kick in their own penalty area. 95.5 played here at Ibrox. It's Rangers 1, Dundee 1. Are we going to get even more drama here in the closing minutes?
Well, Dundee didn't look as if they were sitting in. I agree with Dodgy. I think they tried to sit in just a wee bit early. They were starting to go down 15-20 minutes at the end of the game when I thought there was still a goal there for them. But, you know, Rangers, that was a good chance that Gazzama just had.
Yeah, it was. But it was saved by McCracken, who's had a good game, beaten only by James Tavernier's penalty. That's Curtis trying to play it forward after Danilo played him in. Now it's picked up by Gazzama. Leaves it for Raskan. A minute of the initial 7 minutes that were added on to go, but we'll get more because the penalty and the delay in the check for that is Rangers coming. Dessers to win it! Cyril Dessers! In the final minute of injury time could well have secured victory for the home sides. Great drama here at Ibrox. It's Rangers 2, Dundee 1.
Just utterly incredible. I mean, incredible scenes. I mean, I think half of the Rangers fans went out and came back in there. But listen, Dessers was a comfortable finish. You've seen him miss those ones, but he tucked it away really well. I think it was Danilo that had the beautiful touch.
Here and
yeah. So listen, they've kept going. Have they deserved that winner? I'm not saying.
Checking for offside, aren't
Might
they?
be offside.
I must admit though,
it's not going to stand, I can tell you. It's offside. The Rangers fans' elation turns to despair once more because Cyril Dessers was in an offside position, and incredibly it's back to one apiece.
They were so quick, Al. I think it must have been pretty obvious the offside. Certainly a yard anyway. It looked tight from here. Was it a yard? Yeah, it looks like it was a yard.
Well, we've still got a minute from this restart.
Anything could happen in a minute in this game. I think, I know you've got to compliment Rangers because they look as if they're playing with a man extra for the half an hour or so when they get the man sent off. Giga sent off the early part of this half. And Dundee have decided, look, we're going to just try and hold what we've got. As I said, they've left the periphery of the box empty and it's allowed Rangers space.
Danilo runs into trouble, but it comes to Dessers, who lays it back to Raskan. Out to Curtis, right hand side of the box. Stands it up to the back post. Has he put too much on it? Dessers has done well to even keep it in play, but Clark Robertson clears his lines. We are just about there. In fact, that is it. And it is a draw here at Ibrox between Rangers and Dundee, despite Cyril Dessers seemingly giving Rangers a late victory. He's chopped off for offside, and the boos ring out around the Ibrox stands because that simply will not do for Rangers if they are to provide a serious challenge to Celtic at the top of the table. 2 draws from their opening 2 games, and the 1 point from this one against Dundee, who led for long periods of that second half, having gone in front when the free kick from Digby in the middle of the park was headed back across goal from Clark Robertson and looped into the back of the net from Ryan Astley. It looked like that was going to earn Dundee a first victory here in 24 years, especially when Rangers went down to 10 men with half an hour to play as Nasser Giga clipped Finn Robertson to deny him an obvious goal-scoring opportunity and be shown a red card. The Dundee couldn't capitalise. Rangers kept going, and on 90 minutes, Gassama went in behind Dre Wright. He was clipped by the wing-back, and a penalty was awarded and dispatched by James Tavernier. And in the 7th minute of added on time, Cyril Dessers blasted beyond John McCracken, only for that to be chalked off for an offside against the striker. Another dramatic evening, but the sense around Ibrox is one of dismay once again. You can hear the reaction of the fans behind us because it has finished. Rangers 1, Dundee